Ahoy there, mateys! Welcome aboard the Riff Raff podcast. We are the pirates of the neurospicy waters. Come along with us and hoist the sail. We're navigating life through story and tale. We'll help you embrace the way you're wired, sharing laughs and lessons to get you inspired. If you join us, we will help you see there are a lot of ways to sail the neurospicy sea. Well, welcome to the Bring It On podcast.
Bring It On podcast. It is on, people.
I think we've started every single one of these episodes laughing.
Good record. I'll take that. But we have hard stops for folks. So we're between the thrusting and the wands and the whatever, stuff is starting weird today. So welcome to Across the Desk. We are here today with our Riff Raff team. And we chose the Riff Raff name because each of us are neurospicy in some description and have experienced being an outlier or an outsider or trying to fit in or like whatever there's going to be some language today, folks, because Elizabeth is out of spoons, and which means I'm out of filter. So there's going to be some words. Thank you. I appreciate the spoon, Maddie.
You're welcome.
And we started today's podcast with Elizabeth seeking assistance from her wonderful team. And it didn't work out so great. And then Paul made the valid point that I chose the team, and then I'm now questioning that. Sorry, Sydney's going, what the hell am I doing here?
Well, we did help you find the wand.
After the thrusting comment, which kind of disturbed me.
Yours is the one that made that comment.
I did not say anything. That was Senora Coleman. There was no thrusting.
Well, now I have to defend myself because you said you picked the team, and I said, well, some of us were thrust upon you.
Yeah.
Like greatness has been thrust upon you. And
that's true, yes.
There was thrusting.
To defend myself.
Thrusting, thrushing, flushing, whatever.
All good. We're going to move into the actual topic in a second. So the challenge, folks, was we're on a new platform that we're all learning. Some of us have had, death and things happening. And, and I was looking for support on how to change my background. And it was an exercise in frustration.
I would agree.
First time I've ever punned. And it's interesting that we're segueing back into systemic harm because the whole team systemically harmed me today. It's fine. It's fine. I'll recover. It's fine. What we have talked about is around parenting and things like that. Jumping in before everybody introduces themselves, so my apologies. So I'm going to be quiet for a moment. We're going to have a Brady Bunch situation. Maddie, your camera's gone kind of funky doodle.
So it will fix itself. It will let's try something.
It'll fix itself in post.
What's that? Fix it in post?
No, it will.
Well,
it will.
Yeah, it should. Yeah, it should. It might show differently, but if you want, I can hit the magic wand again and turn my background off and see if that fixes it.
Wand is now causing me trauma. Okay, moving on.
I knew you were going to say that.
Thank you, Sydney. For that,
I support you, Elizabeth.
Sydney can, like the wonder bra you are.
She's very supportive.
Introduce yourself. I'm telling you, people are going to run away. Getting corruption.
I can just go cuddle my dog.
You know what? Be less stressful. Hit it.
So, hi everyone. I'm Sydney. Identify as autistic and other neurodivergency, and I'm happy to be here with you all, even though there's some chaos that ensues.
There's some bullshit. Maddie?
Hi, I'm Maddie Dever, and I'm an autistic adult, and I'm a parent of 4 young adult autistics as well, and we also have many other letters associated with our name. We're very, very neurospicy.
Cool. Mr. Coleman, aka Santa, aka Thrusty Pants.
Vendetta.
That's the first time we called that.
He's also the one of us that's really in 3D.
So yeah, hi everybody. My name's Paul. Adult diagnosed ADHD. I'm a parent of 4 who have various
Neurospicinesses. We're trying to get Paul to come out of the closet on some stuff, but it's a process. It's okay. We're working on it.
Well, I'm not diagnosed, but accused very often.
Supportingly and lovingly, with no judgment, except for today. Today there's some judging. Good morning. I'm Elizabeth Plouffe. I am neurospicy, as you can tell. I am late discovered ADHD. I am the loving parent, some days, of 2 awesome kids, one of whom is autistic, dyslexic, and ADHD. My husband is dyslexic, and my daughter is likely my brand of neurospiciness. I will say I had a proud moment on Tuesday where I had to... Are you calm now, Maddie?
Yes.
That was
I'm calm. Okay, so I still have a wee bit of a stuffed up head.
Well, I hear you. I got my son's cold.
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah. So that was me trying to breathe through my nose.
Gotcha.
Incorrectly.
Well, no, it's just you're getting through the barriers, my friend. I hear you. I hope you're feeling better, in all sincerity, because it's crappy to be traveling and have illness and have people flattening your chair. That's poo. Tuesday night, I was at an event for Tech Place, which is a local incubator that we are very, very fortunate to be a part of, who has supported multiple programs that we offer. Employment Works, Board Games Night, our D&D group, Job Lab, team meetings, all kinds of stuff. And I got the opportunity to talk about what we do and introduce the term neurospicy to the crowd who had not heard it before. And there was literally applause around neurospicy. So I believe Maddie originated that. I have run with it. I believe it's catching on. So I just wanted to let you know I have infected Burlington with neurospicy.
Excellent.
There you go. So we have been talking about systemic harm in a variety of ways. And today I think it's going to be a blend of parents and schools. We're going to focus on high school today. We've all had experiences with elementary, and we've talked about that briefly, either ourselves or with our kids. But I think we would all agree that when high school isn't managed properly, that leads to such challenges later as far as post-secondary employment, social skill development, everything. Primary is absolutely important, but I saw the biggest issues for my son in high school. So could I invite anybody who wants to start to talk about either their high school experience or how they navigated it as a parent for high school and what kind of happened with you? Now you're all quiet.
Well, I can.
What the hell?
We're all trying to okay, not interrupt each other. So who's going to go first so we can just let it happen instead of what we normally do is all jump in. Yeah, call us out like you're used to. I think I just called her out. I just called her out. That was so funny.
This is why we're not doing a podcast next week.
Oh my god. Okay. We're not getting anything done today.
Oh my. Hi.
Paul, I'm going to invite Paul because
Sure.
I need to mute myself at this point.
So my personal biggest problem started in high school.
Come into the microphone a little, my friend.
Sorry. Better?
Better.
Okay. So I could fake it till I made it, faked it till all through
Got it.
grade through primary school, grade school. Because I could absorb whatever the lessons were. I could do all that kind of stuff. I could write the test. I could pass without studying. When I got into high school, where the lessons were also taken out of the book, it wasn't just all being fed to you, and you had to learn out of a book, and you had to learn in different ways, and it required discipline that my now knowing ADHD did not give me. I tanked in high school. I did not do well at all until I would say grade 12 or 13. I was in every, yes, I'm old enough to have gone to grade 13.
Me too. I was the last graduating class. Yeah.
For me, it was actually grade 14 or 15, but
I did a 13.
OAC. We had OAC.
Yeah.
Ontario Academic Credits, grade 13, yeah.
But yeah, I went to summer school and I went to summer school and night school for every year because I was bombing out of classes right, left, and center. And it wasn't until it was much later. I never thought I took those report cards and the comments the teachers said and everything as an attack on my abilities, on my intelligence, and it was so freeing. And because I never thought I was dumb, I thought I was a pretty smart person, and I can find a magic wand.
Telling others how to find the magic wand appears to be a challenge. Anyway, I have no doubt you are an extremely creative.
So it was very difficult to get through high school when you can't figure out why you can't study like other people, why you can't focus, why you can't do the things.
How was social for you? Because social for me was a struggle in high school, so that's why I'm asking. Because ADHD folks, by the way, can also cause social struggles.
So I had a lot of people that I interacted with, but nobody I was really close with. So I was, I flitted from group to group, but never had any deep connections.
Would you say that might link back to the comments that you got from teachers that sort of made you doubt your ability to manage the relationships or what you had to offer to show up to be a friend? Or
well, when you're failing and you're not doing well, there's not really a strong desire to be the teacher's pet or be, present and engaged and try really hard. It's kind of like a cyclical cycle. Teachers didn't like me very much because I would talk back and I would be, I would be skipping class and not showing up.
Okay, folks, for context, Paul is the least salty gentleman I know. Like, to get him to get cross is kind of my life's goal.
You don't know internal Paul. It's been a lifetime of building that mask.
Wow. Oh, now I need to challenge.
Mask, or would you say the Santa suit? I think it's a whole body thing that you embody.
Whole body. Yeah. You're Batman. So that's fair, because if you're not successful in a system that places huge value on academics and on achievement, and like that's where there's all that pressure to pick your career and get into the top university and all that other, if you're academically driven, which I am not. So that then does bleed over. I think teachers underestimate their comments on report cards. And one thing we talked about earlier this week was, where's the how? Right? You're telling me that I can't focus. You're telling me I should get my assignments in on time. This is my report cards, folks. You're telling me that I should, hand in assignments more complete, and I shooting all over me, which is valid because I'm not meeting your expectations. Sydney pointed this out. At no point do they explain how you fix this. It's just, you should know. You're smart. You should know how to fix this. And I wonder if that's part of it.
I would hope that it's getting better. Like from what I'm seeing, I mean, I don't mean, because my kids are all adults now, right? And so even when they were in high school or grade school, well, I shouldn't say grade school because we homeschooled for grade school, but yeah, the teachers are really hard on them in going to grade school.
And I did not bring that up. I'm just
I
on the
know,
record right now.
But when my kids were in high school, and there still wasn't a lot of awareness around some of the neurospicy stuff, and I'm hoping that it's getting better. And I see it. No, that's sad.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna flip. Maddie, you've done an excellent job of waiting your turn.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. I when I give it when I've been giving some talks recently, I've been talking about like my own journey. And you know, when I in grade school, I was a very happy-go-lucky kid. Believed that everybody loved me. And that started dissipating in high school. I was the bullying went to the next level. So I was a December kid who had skipped a grade. So I was 2 years younger than everybody in my class. And I looked like that until grade 8 when I grew 18 inches and became the tallest kid, and that helped. I was awkward, but like I was really smart, but I didn't have I couldn't. I was really great at tests, really lousy at assignments.
Yes.
And I didn't pay attention in class. And I don't know how many teachers, said, the comment about that if I only applied myself, if I, they were so helpful by pointing out all the things that I couldn't do or didn't do or wasn't doing. But the other thing is, like, there's a lot going on in my home life. A lot.
Yeah.
By grade 10, 11, my mom had been in a car accident. She'd broken her back, then 2 years later was in a car accident. So I was doing a lot of the stuff at home that my mom would have been doing. We were single mother family. So with 3 teen kids, I took on a lot of roles at home that exhausted me, to be honest. And I never really saw the importance of school, other than it's a place where I needed to go. But to me, life was more important than school.
But you
didn't, exactly.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. And I remember I had 2 guidance counselors, one in grade 10 and one in grade 11, that told me that I was never going to amount to anything. I went back and saw them as an adult 10 years later and told them about my life and said, I think you were wrong there. And maybe you shouldn't say things to people unless this is what you're trying to do to inspire them later in life. And the problem is that the schools never, I got bored. If I ever got bored with the lesson, I would disengage. I would learn other stuff. I would learn way more than what was in the class, but I would never learn what was in the class. It was really hard for me because I hated being slowed down. I don't know how many times, especially in grade 7, that the teachers took the textbooks away from me so I wouldn't read ahead.
You do that on our team as well. So I will say that is not a school thing for Maddie. Maddie is one of the most
I read a lot.
One of the most curious, deep dive, and I mean this in the most sincere, appreciation way. I think that is how you are built from a learning perspective. If I give the team a challenge, can you help me find information on? Literally within an hour, I will have boom, boom.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never finished. I never finished high school. I left. Took a year or two, and that I did a lot of. I did sort of deep dive in Canadian history on William Lyon Mackenzie. And the
It's all
I,
good.
oh, I know. But I really loved seeing how we got to where we were. I went to the archives a lot, and I got to understand that, oh my gosh, the history that's in the history books isn't really the history that happened. There are many different things that we didn't pick up on, and many of the things in history books were, let's say, biased. Yeah, and a year later, I opened a computer store, and that's where my life went.
Context, Patty lives in the Ottawa area, so they actually have access to like the archives, like
Yeah. The National Archives of Canada. Yes, a very fun
Sydney,
place to live, to be if you're not bored.
if you're bored, not bored, and you like history.
Exactly.
Sydney Elaine Butler, not
Yes, Elizabeth.
Sydney is relatively fresh out of high school compared to the rest of us gizzers.
I
So
graduated high school 11 years ago, which to me feels like forever, but I know in the grand scheme, I am still young.
I
But
graduated high school in
It's
1988.
yes. I graduated high school 3/11s ago.
Three less, yeah, 4 score and 3/11s ago. The rest of us graduated high school. All right, Sydney, sorry, we're taking the spotlight. So
all
you would have
good.
had a different experience because hopefully, as Paul suggested, things were better than those of us of the older
And
vintage.
to that, Paul, no, it was not.
I was hoping you would
And
prove me wrong.
I'm actually, and I'm working. I've worked with the kiddos since they were 9, and now they are in high school. It's also neurospicy, and it's still not great.
Still crap.
Um, I'm sorry to say it. Like there's a little progress, but not because I think the real issue is in post-secondary too, in secondary, a lot of teachers like they can have the training, but it's ultimately up to them how they implement and how they approach things. And so my school was actually also attached to a school called Park Home, which is for disabled and some neurodivergent teenagers in that specific school. And so that was an interesting dynamic to have in secondary school and in high school. And I remember my drama teacher started including them from the students from Park Home into our drama productions, or wanted to integrate them into our classrooms. And I remember I felt more connected to those students than to my peers.
Amazing.
And people are like, but it was it was a light bulb moment for me, but it was also frustrating because of my classmates would be like, how do you get along so well with them? And there was that differentiation. And that was very
Nice.
frustrating. And I'm just like, because we're all people. Like, what do you?
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
It was so ridiculous. And I called myself a chameleon in high school. And so I would be with the burnouts, with the jocks, with the nerds, whoever. I would go over the place. And I would mask most of my stay at school. My grades were not the best until in grade 11. I was failing mixed math. So there's university math, college math, and mixed math. And at this point, I wanted to go I was doing applied math in grade 9 and grade 10 and was barely passing, but for some reason I was like, oh, I can do mixed math in grade 11. No.
Sure.
Because I wanted to go to university, and that's what I thought you were supposed to do. And my teacher's like, no, you need to drop this course. Like you're getting a 38%. Like, no, this is not for you.
Yes, my grade 9 teacher said, Elizabeth, not everybody everybody needs to take math through high school.
Yeah.
You're not one of those people.
That was then I was like, okay, I'm going to college. So then it was like for so long I was like, okay, I'm going to I literally wanted to go to the University of Guelph. I had a specific program I wanted to do. I had my whole outline of what I wanted to do, and then that was like, nope, nope, you have to change your entire life plan. And so that was very frustrating. And but then I was like, okay, now I can take more college level things because I'm going to college. And it was a bit, I guess, started getting a bit better grades. I was getting like 70s, some 8, and the drama class, some of the classes I was getting some A's. I was like, it was starting with, was mostly a C student and then becoming a B and sometimes an A student
Good for
when I
you.
started realizing that. But the social was very hard. To Paul's point, it felt very surface level, and I didn't have, but then I had like some deep connections. And when I had those deep connections, they were like deep connections. Like I was very attached, like almost, I don't want to say obsessive, but like just like this is my
You felt safe, and they were your people.
and then it backfired. But I won't get into too much detail about that. And then in grade 10 math, so we had a student teacher come because she wanted to learn how to be a teacher. And
Did you break
my
her?
mental health, yes, my mental health was also really bad in high school because of the mask and because I had teachers like that math teacher. So the math teacher, and then there was the student teacher. She wasn't very nice to me. She's like, you should get this kid. Like, what you should do this. Be able to do this. And like, you're not explained in a way I understand.
I know that feeling.
And so there was a lot of frustration, and my mental health was hitting some breaking points. And so I basically took it out on the student teacher and was like, I think I was, I'm going to jump out the window. I said that to the student teacher when the main teacher stepped out of the room. And she was like, no, no, no. Like, I was literally like going to the window, like opening the window. And she was like, and then she never came back. And then I found out from the math teacher that I made her reconsider her life choices and doesn't want to be a teacher anymore because she can't deal with that.
I wish more teachers did. So, like, I'm sorry you had that experience. That is awful. And I'm sorry you felt you got to the point where you had to express yourself somehow. And that was the only way you felt you could be heard. That's awful that you got to that point. But I wish more teachers realized at some point in their training that this is not the right fit for them, because too many teachers are like convinced that this is their career path and they're sticking to this, by God. And I have had too many teachers engage with my son who should never have become teachers for anybody.
I'm going to tell a quick good story of a teacher. My best friend's, so I have a best friend. I spent the whole summer with her and her dad at their house just hanging out. But her dad had cancer at the time. So then he died when we went back to school in September, shortly after we started back at school. And we had some assignments, and it was still impacting me way into, I'm still grieving him to this day, years on. And I had a science teacher, and I wasn't able to submit my assignments on time. And she's like, as long as you submit them to me by the end of the semester, you're good.
That's amazing.
Because even like I left her class in the middle to go to the funeral. And so I felt really safe with this teacher. This was one of my favorite teachers. And I wasn't doing the best in the class still. I was getting like a C minus and working towards getting a B. But she's like, as long as you get your assignments, all your assignments, there was like 4 assignments in that class. As long as you get them to me by the end of the semester, it would be fine. So
I wish there was more. So I'm sorry you had that experience, and I sympathize. It's interesting because I was meeting with somebody last night who was sharing their childhood trauma. And you could tell that they were really struggling with how much to share or what to share or whatever, because you don't know what people are carrying. Yeah. And I said, okay, I'm not trying to take over your story. Would you feel better? Would you feel more comfortable? Would you feel safer if I shared some of the stuff I've been through? I don't have to. I'm okay, but I feel like he wanted to, and I made it very clear, I am not a counselor. Like, we're referring for mental health supports, all kinds of stuff. But during high school, my dad got cancer again. Our house burnt down on Christmas Day. when I was 16. I don't know what grade that is. Stuff came out in our family that blew our family up pretty significantly. My parents divorced. My dad left the house. And I was expected to show up at school and deliver. No teacher ever asked how I was doing. Never got a break. I literally left for Christmas break and came back with everything in my house gone. Had to go shopping on Boxing Day for underwear because I didn't have any anymore. Never got a break from a single teacher. Never got any support, nothing. My science teacher, I went to him, I had to do a biology project. And I said, can I pick my own topic? And he said, sure, what do you want to do? And Mr. Borland was pretty great. And I said, well, my dad has cancer and he's got to go through chemotherapy because he had too much radiation the first time. So could I use my dad as my biology experiment? And I remember that conversation because he's literally standing in the middle of the classroom going, what now? He's like, anyway, so my dad was my grade 11 biology. I can tell you everything you need to know about his type of chemotherapy in 1986. It was great. Reflecting on the report cards and reflecting on these experiences and what we're all sharing, I find it interesting that my kids are 26 and 27, so similar ages to Paul's kids, Maddie's kids, same age as Sydney. And no teacher asks, or very few, let's examine why that person's not handing in assignments on time. Let's find out why they're struggling with, 38% in math. Nobody asked me what was going on at home, if that was an impact on why my grades were tanking. To go from a solid B student to where I ended up, not one teacher checked in to see if maybe shit was going sideways somewhere.
Yeah. If you can start playing chords with your grades on your report card, we need to understand why.
No problem. That's really good. But nobody provides the how. All they'll counsel you. I got the same thing. I got fed up with French. Plus the French teacher was really slimy.
Don't get me shut on French.
Well, but I was born in Quebec.
No.
I could have done really well. And it wasn't what's going on. It's, you just shouldn't take French anymore. Yeah, you shouldn't take math. It's like,
it makes it easier on the teachers. It doesn't make it easier on us in life. It's that's a system. Yeah.
Yeah, it cuts the options down, right? So is Sydney here?
Sorry,
she is.
I had to let Oreo out.
Yeah, I always hear see people talking and they say, I got taught math and English and all these things that I'll never use, but they never taught me how to do my taxes, right? And that's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm taking a course right now in it's a support group for people that have loved ones in their life who are borderline personality disorder or have severe emotional dysregulation. And the stuff that I'm learning points such a spotlight on my own life where I had terrible emotional regulation problems. If the teachers were teaching emotional regulation as a course and then they understood what emotional dysregulation was, they would have so much more empathy and so much more patience to look at and say, that kid's not bad. That kid just needs to learn how to channel that emotion and how to deal with it because they're dealing with pretty big feelings.
Yeah.
And that's to me one of the huge issues that I think teachers should be, and anybody dealing with children should have to learn. They should be emotionally mature before they, and understand these things before they start instructing children.
Well, be aware of it. Like we talked about, 6 hours as far as, and I haven't found any information yet to do otherwise. And if I'm sorry, I'm stumbling a little bit because, so I worked in healthcare for a long time. Any general practitioner who has a patient present with a healthcare issue that is outside of their scope is legally required to make a referral. Okay. Once the referral's been done and a treatment plan is in place, and if there's medication involved or whatever, then the GP can support that. You're not going to continue to go back to the specialist, but you need to bring in more help. We had a situation with my son in primary school. We also had one in we had several. And the school's solution to the problem that happened in primary was to bring in their autism specialist, who had never met my son, had never had a meeting with me, knew nothing about Thomas whatsoever. And the school based their recommended plan going forward on her expertise versus the 24/7, situation.
You're not alone in this. This is I share that story with two of my kids. It's
like, bring in the specialist, but I'm also the specialist.
Yeah. They bring in, it's all to support the teacher or the system and not the student. It's 100%. Not a student-centered system at all.
They were trying to prove that they didn't fail my son.
Yes, it's a CYA. That's what it is.
Yeah, it wasn't helping my TP, Thomas Blue. It was 100% CYA. And
Thank you for clarifying.
But I had to sit in a meeting, and this expert came in and delivered this report on my son.
Yeah.
And pardon the language, because this was the language she used in the moment. She called my son functionally retarded. And said his main issue was that he was afraid of his father. Okay.
My eyebrows are, by the way, in case you don't see the visualization, you're just listening to them. My eyebrows just went big, wide, and our faces are all, just agog right now.
Yeah. So I had to sit in this room of 20 odd people, listen to this woman deliver this report about my son, and then make some of the stupidest recommendations. And, I should be doing workbooks at home with him, and I should be doing this, and I should be doing that. And don't get me wrong, I was heavily involved in my kids' school, heavily involved in my son's care. Like, I was that mom in school. And I said, okay, you don't think I've tried workbooks? You don't think I have a whole separate little classroom set up in my dining room that has counting toys, and, you don't think I have all of that already? Here's your challenge. My son hates coming here. He hates every day he has to step into this building because you are all failing my son. This has nothing to do with this report. You are all failing my son. So don't put it on me. I said, you asked me to bake it, cook it, grow it. I'm in. But it is not my responsibility to do your job. So maybe stop failing my son. And then I looked at her and I said, and that report is bullshit. But that report, it took 2 years off of Thomas's education because everybody believed that report or some part of it.
Yeah.
Until I proved
2
years.
We had a similar situation with one of my kids, and in the end, the reason why they were trying to bring in another board specialist is because they were going to find the way to make my daughter comply. When the issue was all along that things that were in the IEP, things that were in the safety plan, things were in all the things, when they weren't followed, my daughter would have behaviors each and every time. The issue was not my daughter complying. The issue was they weren't following what we'd all agreed on, and they were putting it all on my daughter every time. And I had to pull her out for a bit, because it was just unfair to her. It was just, and she was also dealing with, at that time, her grandfather, who she was really close to, was dying of cancer. And I felt that, I think her spending the rest of his time on Earth was more important than being forced to try to comply. And I think, she had that time. It was worth it. But it was just,
you run into that, Cindy, with complying? I'm just sorry. I'm just intrigued from a newly graduated, like, would they? Can't help it.
Only one 11Z's ago. This is going to be a new term we're going to use.
Because the sad thing is that Maddie's kids are 10 years younger than Sydney. So generationally, that's what I'm trying to establish, because that's a really important point that Maddie's making, is that whole lack of support and compliance, and you need to do what we need you to do because that's more comfortable for us. So did you feel that?
I did. Yeah. And again, like I was saying, like my experience was like some teachers would get it and some teachers wouldn't. And that was somehow even more frustrating, because it's like, how can some of you? I need consistency. Like that's how I function. That's what my brain works best when there's consistency. And it was like the lack of consistency, and then because of that, it made me really feel like it was my fault. And I think that's part of what I shared earlier, that breakdown I had was that's part of the reason why, because I think it also show how when some teachers I would feel safe with, and other teachers I was like, I would literally, if you saw my high school report card, and I would get away with it too with my parents, because my parents were tired and my mom was working night shifts at the time. And so there was classes, because I would skip some classes that I didn't want to go to during the day of high school.
Sassy. You had your sassy flakes.
I was like, if the teacher's not going to respect me, I don't respect them. I'm not going to class.
I was a skipper, so like, I'm not judging.
I was a skipper too.
I was like, I'll be there for drama class. Math, maybe not.
Samesies.
French, maybe not.
Were you a skipper?
Oh my gosh, we really are the Riff Raff.
You know what? To everybody's point, like I think everybody shared the same thing, that if we can't engage with the content, if the teacher's not getting us, and we're not asking folks to have a specific curriculum for us or whatever, like we're not that crazy. But when nobody's checking in as to why you're not engaging, and you're not engaging in most of the classes, it's not us. It's you. So Paul was a skipper, so we were all skippers. We all had issue. I also got in trouble for talking back in class, and my grade 11 had a student teacher in English, and we had to do a book report. And so I chose the Thornbirds. And then my essay on the Thornbirds was the rampant sexual assault in the Catholic Church.
Were you in Catholic school by chance?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. But when I turned it in, she was like, she even wrote in my yearbook, "I will never forget your essay." Because I went on the rampant pedophilia within the Catholic Church or whatever as my book topic. It worked out. I broke teachers too.
So when I was in school, and like probably when Thomas and Vanessa were in school, and Maddie, when you could, but only I think it started in high school, if I'm not mistaken. But there was a section on the report card that weren't grades, so it was like excellent, good, satisfactory, and improvement.
Yes, the social skills and life skills stuff.
That was so annoying.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back and look. I never checked that part. I was just
yeah, that was the hardest.
I remember when that came in I think it started in grade 9 is when I first remember seeing it. And I was like, even my mom was like, well, like, what is this bullshit?
Literally.
NI needs improvement. That
I
was
got
the
a lot
one.
of, and then
Me too.
when you got the
Me.
needs improvement, it was like, well, look, it just all needs improvement. Oh,
We are the neurodivergents that go me.
unless
So-
it's a class I really like, then it was excellent. It was either needs improvement or excellent. The two extremes.
Are we doing pew pews?
Pew pew.
So Paul has to jump off. What?
Yeah.
I'll go back and watch the video. Were you pew pewing?
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
Yes. The neurodivergents that go me.
So Paul's got like 30 seconds left, so we need to summarize before Paul has to hop off. And then either you can hop and we can continue, or we can all hop. We'll see what happens. Essentially, what we're coming down to is this is a shared experience across decades now, folks. Decades.
Easy.
Things have not changed.
Several
Say it
11
again,
Cs.
Coleman. Decades. A long time since I was 18. And what saddens me is that I experienced this. My kids experienced this. Maddie, who's got kids younger than me, their kids experienced this. Paul, who's got kids younger than my kids, experienced this. Decades, folks. How are we still in a position where we're not checking in with our kids, where we're not asking questions? And as parents, we need to advocate for our kids in this capacity. If nobody's asking, we need to tell. We need to work with the school, with our kids, to share what's going on. If there's difficult circumstances in home, if they're struggling through mental health, if something's going on, don't do it for your kid. Do it with your kid so that they learn how to have those conversations and they learn when to step in and step up for themselves.
And if you haven't listened to our advocacy podcast, go back and listen to that one, because that segues right into that.
That will get you. That'll give you some tips and tricks.
I have to go.
Yes, you do. So we're wrapping up. Are you going to say goodbye now and then we'll wrap up?
Sure. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Paul.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, that flips really weird. We've only got 2 minutes left anyway. So I think that was the summary. Was there anything that either Maddie or Sydney would like to add summary-wise?
No, it's just like it's school is a sensory hellscape. School is a sensory hellscape, and there's a reason why kids mask more in schools than anywhere else. It needs to be fixed.
There's so much more on the line because it's not just achieving academically, right? It's navigating social, it's navigating all of that. And I'm sorry, folks, but that dumbass drama social skills bullshit class that my son got shoved into almost twice, get a grip on yourself if you think that actually does anything.
Yeah, they're just a bunch of drama llama ding dongs.
Oh man, the drama llama was real. So we're going to continue this, I think, because we did do a quick podcast on advocacy, but I think advocating within schools is a whole different skill set.
Yep.
And it's just as important for the students to understand. What was that Twisted Sister song? Not going to take it.
We got to fight for a right to party. Wait, that's a different one.
Boys.
I know. Yeah.
If you're not going to take it anymore, if you get pushed to the point where jumping out the window seems like the only way to get somebody's attention and share just how rough things are, please go and find someone. Please go to that teacher that you might have a relationship with. Please take a chance on somebody in the office. And I know not everybody's going to do a great job. Please share with your parents if it's rough. And I know you might be in a situation where parents aren't on board or like whatever could be happening, but I hope for you that there is an adult in your life somewhere, grandparent, aunt, uncle, friend, whatever, that you can talk this through with. Because then you'll get the language to go to the school and say, it's not because I can't do it. It's because I need you to help me and how I learn. Or there's some really rough shit going on at home. I actually don't remember formally telling anyone in school that my house burnt down Christmas Day.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow a lot of people knew. I mean, it was big news in Oakville in 1986. So people would stare at me and people would whisper. Nobody asked me how I was doing. We need to ask, folks. If somebody's struggling, they're already at a point where sharing that is going to be a difficulty. So let's learn to ask. Let's provide the how.
Let's provide the how.
Let's provide the how.
Wise words. Start it off.
Are there, Captain? Or Skipper?
I'm feeling kind of Patrick-y today. I'm really not. I'm not channeling anybody intelligent today.
Oh.
I don't think I've ever watched a full episode of SpongeBob, so I could not. Anyway, moving on.
Same here.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We appreciate you joining us. Thank you, Maddie and Sydney. I always love your stories, and I appreciate you being brave enough to share them.
Thank you.
And you too.
Thank you, folks. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, this is Elizabeth Blue from Spiro Canada, one of your pirates on the Riff Raff podcast team. My fellow pirates include Maddie Dever from Autistic Bridge, Sydney Elaine Rutler from Accessible Creates, and Paul Coleman from Creation Designs, who is our very own Arctic LARPing Santa. Thank you for joining us on the Neurospicy Seas, and we wish fair winds to you all.